Without villains, there is no need for heroes. Or is there? This subject's been on my mind for a long, long time. There is so many problems in our world. And to understand these problems, we have to look at the source of where these problems come from. And the source is going to take us back many, many years ago. In fact, it's going to take us back to the beginning of time. And there's even questions about where the beginning of time is. Some says it's this. Some says we came from cows. Some says monkeys existed before we did. Cows existed before we did. Many people believe in lots of different things in this world. You know, belief, trust, faith, they all mean something. But they can mean different things to different people. But I'm going to start my story clear back in the beginning of time. When two people, a man and a woman, were married to each other because there was no other competition on the earth. That kind of made it easy. There was no other men or women to, try to pull them apart. There was one thing that God, and we're going to discuss God, because there's a lot of beliefs in gods. A lot of different religions and no religions and all kinds of whatevers. God comes in different forms and ideas. I'm going to try to talk about some of these ideas that the world has evolved over the years. But God had gave, and we might as well cut it straight on, Adam and Eve. Okay? We're pulling from a Christianity point of view. And I know there's a lot of you out there that aren't Christians. Some of you don't see the value in Christianity. Some just don't care. Okay? You're here. So what? You were born. It's your parents' fault. You're here, right? Yeah, it's not your fault. It's your parents' fault. All things has a beginning. And in the beginning, God said, Adam and Eve, I want to put you down there on earth. I've created this big old ball out there. Great big old thing. And I've placed a sun over here, and I've placed a moon over here, and I've placed stars here, and other stars here, and I've got the North Star here, and the Jupiter star over here, and anyway, I put water here, and dirt here, and mountains here, and rivers here. I created all this. And guess what, Adam? You helped me. You helped me create this earth. Did you know that? And many, many others. Okay? So that's telling me something here. Did we have a beginning before we were born upon this earth? Because God's next commandment was, in fact, I think his first commandment was, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy mind, strength, and strength. Or something like that. The second commandment is, thou shalt multiply and replenish the earth. Okay, multiply and replenish the earth. We don't have stories. We don't have a record of what took place in the beginning. too much. It's little pieces of it. In fact, I think in Genesis it covers about 3 or 4 pages is all, before we go into Moses and other prophets of the land that came about in that period of time. But Adam and Eve, a man and a woman, were told, first of all, God married them, because God had the power, right? He created them. He had the power. He had the authority to multiply and replenish the earth. And this is what they did. We don't understand. They didn't have doctors. They didn't have hospitals. You know, were they instructed? I'm sure they were instructed on how to go about having children and giving birth. And I'm sure there was a lot of things that God gave them instructions. I'm sure he just didn't say, okay, get down there, you two. I want you to have fun in the bushes and produce me some kids. Now, I know some of you kids are doing this. Some of you young people are watching this. I know this is going on. But remember, man and woman married. Okay? Anyway, that's how it all began. So where does the villain come in? Okay? Next step, God says, I'm going to test you though. I'm putting you down there. I'm giving you this body that you have flesh and bones. You know, you can break a finger. And then you have to have this funny looking cast on it, or a leg, or whatever. Or have a knee replacement, modern day technology. And you could do these things because you have now got a body with bones and blood pumping through your heart. Okay? Can you imagine how many times your heart beats in your lifetime? Anyway, but he says, I'm going to test you. And I have the perfect person that's going to test you. Adam. You remember that brother you had there before we came to this earth? I know you don't, because everything's been taken away. But, yeah, you did have a brother. You've got to start trusting me, okay? I'm the guy you trust, okay? I'm going to teach you the right things of the world. I'm going to teach you how to do things the proper way. So anyway, you're going to have to trust me. But this other guy, which is your brother, I mean, he's not just a figment of your imagination. He's a real... He's going to try to tempt you, and he's going to cause problems. Okay? The villain. Next time I talk here, I'm going to be talking about the villain and what his purpose upon this earth is. Okay? So anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed what I've said. That's my intro. And I hope to be with you a long, long time. You know, I've got a lot of things to say. I've got a lot of philosophies to think about and to put out here. Let you think. That's what we're here for, is thinking. Gain knowledge, understanding. Anyway, have a great day, and I'm gone for another day.
It has an effect on the fish.
And you're going to smash them with a potato masher.
Aha! There's a 4-pointer right there.
Came up to help people earn more money.